Welcome to Splurge or Save. This is the series where I'm going to tell you guys if you should splurge your money a little and buy this game, or if you should save your money a little and not buy this game. The game we're going to be doing today is called Cult of the Lamb. This one's super popular. I'm sure you've heard of it. And we're going to be talking about this one today. Alright, so the story of Cult of the Lamb is a little dark, if we're being honest. A little bit. Basically, the story is you're following a lamb, that's you're the character, who is saved from death by a godlike stranger named the One Who Waits. You have no idea who this is, but he saves you. Now you must repay their debt by creating a cult in its name. That's it. And there's a super in-depth wiki about the story that you can go look up, and it's very fascinating to read through, but I don't want to give you the entire thing in this video because that could take hours. It goes deep into the story. All right, moving on to everyone's favorite part, the video structure. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do this video, and then we'll get into it. So the way we're going to do this one is I'm going to go through and talk about the pros and cons as always. Then we're going to do the maps. I'm going to talk about all the different levels and the maps and stuff like that, but I'm not going to really show pictures or anything in that area because it's kind of hard to get pictures for that. But I'll tell you about them and how you can unlock them and get to them. And then I'm going to go over all the weapons, and that'll be fun. There's a lot of different weapons in this game. And then I'm going to go over all the fleeces, and then I'm going to kind of talk about the town running part, or the cult running part, not town, and kind of my feelings on that. And then we're going to talk about the mini game in this one. There's a couple, but we're specifically going to talk about my favorite one, but you'll find that out later. Alright, so I'm just going to throw this disclaimer in here now because it might come up again later, but I haven't actually beat this game yet, and I'm going to kind of go over the reasons why here. So I have 35 hours in this game. I love this game. I'm obsessed with this game. It's really weird. I have 2 tattoos of this game. I love it. I have a hoodie, a shirt. This is the IP is everything. And I think for me, it's because it's a black and red thing. And I don't know why, but black and red go together really well to my eyes for some reason. That could be it. It could be the cult part. I don't know. I have no idea, but I love it. The reason that I haven't beat the game yet is mostly because I'm playing it on the Switch, and the load times, if you've ever played it on the Switch, are immensely bad. Just so long, just sitting there waiting. And by the time it loads, I'm bored and I don't want to play this game anymore. And then the second part, and the reason that I haven't beat it, is probably because I don't really like the cult building part. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm going to do another game here soon probably that's, if you can guess it, this will be great. If you can guess the game, that would be hilarious. But it's a game where it's literally Cult of the Lamb, basically. But instead of running a cult, you run a shop where you sell the items that you get from the dungeons. So I might do that one here soon. But that game appeases to me more because I'm running a shop. That's fun. But the cult part, I just can't understand it. It's not that I don't understand it. I get it. It's just I'm behind and I'm not really enjoying this, because a good comparison for that part is Animal Crossing, and I hate Animal Crossing. I'm not a big fan of it, especially the New Horizons one, because that one was so overplayed and everything, and I tried playing it and I couldn't. I spent the $60 on it and couldn't play it. Alright, so now we're going to jump right into the pros and cons, and we're going to start with cons because, like I said, we always start with the bad around here. And if you keep hearing the birds chirp, it's because I got them out right now while I'm recording. Alright, I had to redo this con after I played the game, because the first con was initially that there's not enough health distribution throughout the level, but that's actually changed for me now. As I was playing, you'll see that I ran into 2 different rooms that had hearts just sitting in there. So I think that they've added those, because I don't remember that being in there when I used to play the game. So I don't know. But now we're going to talk about this con, and con number 1 is not going to be that the health needs changed again. We're going to make con number 1 just that when you go from level to level, and you're in a dungeon, so much stuff happens in the village that it's you go back to the village and it's so hectic. A couple cons from now or the next con, I'm going to talk about how much I don't like the village building aspect, and I really don't. The cult building, I'm not a big fan of it. This is probably a big reason why. It gets so hectic. And when I go play Knuckle Bones, nothing's supposed to happen. It's supposed to pause time while I'm playing Knuckle Bones. And as soon as I finish, someone always dies. Why are people dying when I play Knuckle Bones? It's very annoying, and it's so hectic when I get back. There's so much I gotta do. And I'm not really a big fan of that. All right, we had to re-record Con 2 as well. Basically, in Con 2, the first time I said that I just don't like the village part, but I love the dungeons. This is still true. I don't like the village part. Con 2, don't like the village, running the cult. I'm not a big fan of it. A lot of it is automated once you get to a certain point. It really is, and you don't really have to do too much, but it's still just not as fun as you'd think it would be. If you're into Animal Crossing, let me tell you something. You gotta pick up this game, right? You're into Animal Crossing, you'll love it. It's Animal Crossing, but you get a fight in dungeons too. Holy man, that's perfect for people that love these games. I love dungeon crawlers, but I don't like Animal Crossing, right? But if you mix them together, oh, you got me hooked immediately because of the dungeon crawler. I tried to get into Animal Crossing so hard, but this isn't an Animal Crossing video, so we're not going to talk about that. But I just think that this game is they've worked so hard on it, especially the dungeon parts. So much fun. So much fun. But the village, I can't run this cult, man. I can't do it. All right, this is the third con, and this one is actually a viable con for the game that isn't really a personal thing. I think this is for everyone. Con 3. Okay, here we go. The game doesn't really change the way it looks throughout the dungeons. Each dungeon is just basically a different color slapped on it. And you get different items and different enemies, but the dungeon itself is the same thing. It barely changes, besides the color in the enemies, which, yes, that adds variety, and I get that, but nothing unique happens in these levels. For example, a game, Minecraft Dungeons. You ever heard of that? You ever played that? Very similar to this, right? It's a dungeon crawler game, but you don't run a cult or anything. Anyways, in Minecraft Dungeons, they change. There's now an underwater level where you play underwater and you have to work with that, which, by the way, is one of the most annoying levels in that game. But they could have added a little something like that. A lot of the time, games like to add things where you walk into the room and the floor tiles turn into lava, in the red area, where it's oh, you're in lava, and then it damages you. I'm glad they didn't do that, but they could have thought of something, I feel to make it a little more unique per level. And then we're gonna throw con number 4 in here. I don't know if I threw this in the first time, or I probably mentioned it somewhere, but these load times are kind of atrocious. On the Switch, you'll notice I'm going to leave some of the load times in. I'm going to cut some out. When you load into a dungeon, it's not so bad, but loading into the game, it's a 10-minute wait just for me to even hit play game. It's a 10-minute wait. But loading into the dungeons, that's fine. That usually goes in at least a minute or so, right? It's nothing too crazy, but some of the load times are so bad that's probably a big reason why I stopped playing, is because I didn't want to sit here and wait for 15 minutes for me to be able to play. You know what I mean? That's just not something I enjoy doing. All right, we're going to move on to the pros here. We're going to start with my favorite one, and then we're going to just go down the list from there. My favorite pro of this game, the mini games. Not any of them specifically besides Knuckle Bones. Knuckle Bones is one of the greatest mini games ever created, and I'm glad that I played this game just to experience Knuckle Bones. That game is so good that they could sell it separately, made by the same team and everything, and I guarantee you it would sell well because everyone loved it. I loved it. I love Knuckle Bones. Best part of this game is going and playing some Knuckle Bones for some extra money. That is such a good mini game and such a good concept. Pro number 2. This is something that a lot of dungeon crawlers actually don't get correct, so I'm very impressed to see it here, is the mechanics for fighting make it so you can literally do a whole boss fight on half a heart and survive. The way it runs is so smooth, even on the Switch. Once it loads, you have no problems with like glitching or, you know, lagging or anything like that. It's usually completely fine, and that is fantastic. And so you could do a whole boss fight on half a heart. And I know because I've done it. Like a whole boss fight on half a heart, make it all the way through. That is impressive. The other game that I talked about when I did the disclaimer, that game, you can't do something like that. And it's a dungeon crawler too. Like the amount of time that they put into this to make it so fluid is fantastic. Like it makes the game so much more enjoyable. Pro number 3, the variety of the weapons. There are so many different ones to choose from. A lot of them are like the same weapon, but they have a different effect. Very helpful to have. And I love that there's like, you know, you got your dagger for your fast one, your sword for your neutral. That's kind of, you know, I'll talk about all this later, but you know, you have all these options for different play styles depending on who you are. And I think that that's fantastic and a lot of fun. All right, we're just going to end the pros here on pro number 4. It's going to be kind of lame. It's just that the rest of the game is great. Like this is just a game that I love, so it's hard for me to say no and like to give you cons and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna put this boring bland part here. And like this game is so great. Like even the music is catchy as hell. Like it's just so catchy. Which by the way, their music composer at either Massive Monster or Devolver Digital, their music composer recently passed away. All right, now we're gonna kind of go over the cult part, and that one's a little, it's hard for me to talk about the cult part because I'm not very good at it. But basically in this area you run a cult and you just keep them alive is basically all you have to do. You have to feed them and clean up their poop and stuff like that. Like it's just not, it's not as fun as you'd think it would be, at least to me personally. I can't have fun with it. I don't understand why. I don't get why I'm not interested in it. I'm just not. And it sucks because that's, you know, the other half of this game is running that village, but I hate it. It's so, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of it. All right, we're just gonna jump right into the fleeces here, which fleeces are things that you can put on the lamb that help you throughout your run. They provide different effects and stuff like that. We'll kind of go through all of them here. So we'll just start with the basic, the fleece of the lamb. Doesn't do anything, no bonuses, but it does look cool. That's about really all you need for it, I guess. Then we're going to move on to the golden fleece. This one gives you plus 5% damage per kill, but stack is lost if you're hit. So you get 5% of damage each time you kill an enemy, but once you get hit, you lose the entire stack. All incoming damage is doubled. That's the thing with fleeces in this game. There are so many side effects that it's like, some of these are just so not worth it to use. And I don't know if I'd use this one. I'll tell you the one that I use when we get there, though. Then we got the Fleece of the Glass Cannon. I've heard that this one is actually pretty good, but curses deal plus 100 damage and cost minus 50 fervor. So that means you use less fervor, which is what you use when you attack with the ability, and then you do 100 plus damage. The offset is you lose half damage, half melee damage, and half health, which is not very good, but you do a lot more damage. You do a lot more damage when you attack with the curses. People say that they use this one, but I wouldn't understand why. Losing half health is not good. Then we got the Fleece of the Deceased Heart. Every tarot card gathered grants a deceased heart. Only one may be carried at a time. I don't really know. I forget what the diseased hearts do, but it's basically just another heart, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know if I'd use this one either. The offset of this one is taking damage poisons you. So that's not very helpful to have around because you are going to take damage before you get to the boss. Unless you're like, you know, a try hard and you played at least like 20 hours, you're gonna get attacked. And I get attacked all the time. Like I don't understand. Then we got Fleece of the Fates. This one is the one that I use every time. This gives you 4 random tarot cards at the start of the run, but the offset to this one, all tarot card pickups are disabled. So my question is, if someone can let me know, because I've always used this one, does that mean that I have a chance to get all the other rooms besides the tarot card room? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've played, and I don't remember if I even get the tarot card rooms because I can't even use them, so it's disabled. So why would I be able to get those rooms? This is the one that I always use though, because at the beginning of a run, it just gives you the 4 tarot cards. But I actually don't know if I would recommend using it because you can't get any more. I think every time you go into the tarot card area, because I haven't done this in so long, I'm pretty sure it gives you 2 options that you get to pick from. So it might be better to just keep it around. But I didn't like doing that because it always gave me like 2 bad options. So I just used the fleece. Next up is the Fleece of Fragile Fortitude. This one replaces red hearts with blue hearts at a 2-to-3 ratio. So 2 red hearts you would now have 3 of the fragile hearts. So you get more health, but they're the blue hearts. I forget what the blue hearts do. Oh, when you take damage, they disappear. So once you take a full hearts of damage, it disappears. You get no red hearts now, which I don't know if I would use this one. I don't know. Next up, we got the Fleece of the Cursed Crusade. This one, you receive 4 curse-related tarot cards at the start of each run, I guess. You literally only get to use curses. Oh, this is post-game too, by the way. Sorry. You only get to use curses for the whole run. Weapons are disabled. No weapons. Really weird. Then we got the Fleece of the Berserker. This one is also post-game. You deal 10 times weapon damage, but the offset, you only have half a heart and cannot resurrect. So that's a little not good. But it's post-game, so I think they give you these post-game so that way you can go in and have some fun post-game. You know, once you beat the game, these give you different challenges that you can try and do. Next up, we got the Fleece of Fervor's Favor. This one you can heal using Fervor. This is post-game as well, but no hearts will respawn. So that's kind of helpful, I guess. I don't know. Alright, moving on to the Fleece of the Hobbled Heels. This one, you heal a heart after completing each room, increase movement speed, and starting health. This is also post-game. I guess. Oh, the offset of this one is disabled rolling, so you can't dodge. That's okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'd use that one, but it's post-game, so it gives you another challenge to do. Next up, we got the Fleece of the Heretics, exclusive with the Heretic Pack DLC. This one's an ignoble garb, worn by the most unholy of heretics. It doesn't do anything. Okay, it's just like the first one you get at the beginning of the game, but it looks cool. I mean, that's, I assume. Next up is the Fleece of the Natural. This one is exclusive with the Sinful Pack DLC. This one, let the lamb be free and naked, is what it says. Okay. This one provides no bonuses, no side effects, but I guess you're naked now. Next up is the Silk Fleece, exclusive with the Pilgrim Pack DLC. This one doesn't do anything. It just looks cool. That's about it. Next up is the God of Death Fleeces. This is post-game again. When resurrecting, gain 2 deceased hearts, I suppose. That's it though, it doesn't do anything else. And then I think the last one here is just for the goat, I assume. I don't know, or maybe it's for everyone. The way it's structured, I'm kind of reading this off of a website, and it's showing the goat, and then it goes to this one, so we're just going to say it's on the goat, but I don't know. This is the Cowboy Fleece. This is unlocked after using a blunderbuss for the first time. This one, you always start with a blunderbuss. There's no side effect, you just always start with that if you use this one. So this one actually might be pretty viable to use in most situations. Alright, here's the part where I'm going to tell you about the different effects that the weapons have. So we have Vampiric, which that one, you take health from people. Those are the best. You want those. If you can pick between Vampiric and something else, you always pick Vampiric, in my opinion. Very, very good. Then we got the Bane. That one just gives you a chance to poison them. It's alright. And it basically turns every weapon green. The Vampiric turns everything red. And then we got the Necromantic Sword. That one, when slaying an enemy, it could spawn a ghost that will attack nearby enemies. Those ones are good too. If you don't have a vampiric one, those are good. Then we got the Merciless, like that one. I've never gotten one of these, apparently. This one, a chance to deal a critical hit when attacking enemies. I guess, not really super helpful, but then we got the Zealous effect. This one, Collected Fervor, will also increase the Divine Inspiration bar. I don't think I've ever gotten one of these either, which is kind of weird. Or maybe I just have and I always skip these ones. Then we got the Godly effect. Deal significantly more damage than mortal weapons. That's it. It just deals more damage. And it doesn't even look like it's that significant. I'm looking at it goes from 1 damage and 1 hit and stuff like that to 2. Oh, wow, it's very significant. So the weapons in this game are kind of self-explanatory, so I'm going to kind of just wing it on these ones and talk about them. So we're going to start with the basic sword. This one's just a normal sword, normal attack speed, normal damage, that kind of thing. That's really all there is to that one. Then we're going to move on to the axe. This one has a slower swing and stuff, but it does a lot more damage. Plus, you can hold it to do more damage. Next up is my personal favorite, the dagger. You have a way faster attack speed, but not as far range, and it doesn't do as much damage. But you get so much attack speed. I love daggers in games like this. Like, it just makes it so much more fun, because then you have to use your dodge roll a bit more to get out of the way. I love it. Moving on to the, I don't actually know the names of these. Is it fists? Hands? I actually don't know the name. I probably should have looked, huh? But this does, it's a slower attack speed, slower damage, or lower damage as well. They're okay. Helpful, like, I mean, if it's what you get, it's what you get. And it's usable, but I don't really like these anyways. I usually try to get rid of them as soon as possible. Then we're going to move on to are these mallets, or is it like another form of an axe? I don't actually know, but they have such a slow time. I think they're mallets. It has such a slow fall time, but when it comes down, it does a lot of damage. That's what the description on that one says, I'm pretty sure. But it's not really worth using because it's so slow, but it does deal a massive amount of damage, which is what it's for, I suppose. Then we're going to do the blunderbuss. This one's actually a newer addition to the game as a whole. I've never used it. I don't even have the cowboy thing unlocked because I've never used a blunderbuss. I've never gotten one, so I can't really comment on it. I'm assuming it's pretty good though, but I've never really used one. Alright, we're kind of getting towards the end here, but I'm sorry that this one's going to be so much shorter. Hopefully it's not too bad, but it's going to be a lot shorter than my last one, so that's really all that matters. I kind of wanted to go for that since that last one was like an hour and 10 minutes, which is a little bit too long. And I'm hoping to help people understand this game a little bit better and kind of just tell you if you should buy it or not. But first we got to do the bird part. If you're new here, the birds, we got Gigi and Georgita. Gigi's my white face cockatiel, he's white. Georgita is my Lutino cockatiel. She is yellow, and she has like a bald spot in the back of her head too. I think from now on I might kind of do this bird part where they always disagree with me, and then I'll kind of give you guys the opposite input of the game and how other people might view it that aren't as big of a fan of it as I am. And so I'm going to try and do that, but it is a little harder for me because I'm someone that loves this game, and now I have to talk about reasons why someone might not actually love it. So I'm going to try to do this from now on though. So here's the birds, and they'll tell you, their thoughts on it. Oh man, the birds turned you down. It's almost like I told you that this was gonna happen in the first part. Anyways, this game, so we're gonna kind of go over some reasons why I think that people might not enjoy this game. Some of these are gonna be kind of obvious, and some of them are gonna be no does, but I'll try and keep it short and sweet. So we're gonna start with this takes a niche kind of person to play, and it does. It takes a niche kind of person to play, but you could literally say that about any other video game out there, because all video games are different, and not like, I don't know why, but like, I'm gonna say this every time that I do this rating aspect thing with the birds, and I try to give that opposite rating, because it's true. It does take a particular kind of person to enjoy this, but it's fun. This is Animal Crossing and Moonlighter, if you've ever heard of that, put together. Okay, that's all this game is. Super simple, super easy, fun. I mean, it's a great game. However, I just think that like, that takes a particular kind of person, because a lot of people loved Animal Crossing except me. I think I'm like the one person I know that hated Animal Crossing. Like, I genuinely hate Animal Crossing, and I'm really mad that I spent $60 on that during COVID when it came out. But I liked Moonlighter, right? In that game, dungeon crawler, that's what this game is. Dungeon crawler. I love that aspect of this game. A couple other things that I think people might not like is that like the scenery doesn't really change. Like, how boring is that? You literally just see the same thing the whole time, even when you go to different levels. Now you kind of look like you might be a little bit underwater. That's about it. And some of the enemies, oh my god, dude, some of these enemies, I'm not gonna label this as a con, but damn, have you seen some of these enemies? You saw me get hit by the same one like 7 times. It's that one that goes underground. I hate that enemy. Why does he do that? And then he like throws his spikes up, and then you have to just stand there and wait for him. Who wants to deal with that? So like, there are some downsides to this game and reasons that I wouldn't go out and buy it. If you noticed, at some point, either you're going to see it or maybe I cut it out, I had a really, really, really bad glitch in the middle of a boss fight. Like, who wants that? I've never had that happen before. That was crazy. And so like, there are some good reasons to not buy it, but if you don't want to deal with glitches, don't play it on like on the Nintendo Switch. Go buy it on PC. You know, like, this game is good, but there are downsides. Every game has a few downsides here and there. Another downside is like the DLCs that they add. They can't really do too much with that. You know what I mean? Like, they just add characters for you to look at, or now you can have characters naked or something. Like, what the hell? Why would I want that? What do you think, I'm a furry? Like, I don't want that shit. You know, like, get that out of here. I want a goddamn game where I can fucking play and add more levels, not add naked animals running around and kissing and stuff. Like, I don't want to see that. You know, like, I think that the DLCs are kind of going to be lacking with this one, because they can't really do too much to add levels, because you already beat the game. So I think that's another aspect that people don't like. All right, my thoughts on this game: super simple. I love it. This game's so good, well thought out, well made. They took their time. I love this game so much. A couple weird thoughts to me, though, are the DLCs. I don't understand the point of these DLCs, because they really just add people for you. And I think that like, they can't really do too much with the DLC with this game, because if they add whole new levels, some people are going to be pissed. But if they don't add new levels and they only add characters, then it's like, and they made them super cheap, then people are like, oh, well, I like the way these followers look, I'm gonna go buy that, you know? So I think to know that you really don't need the DLC is something that I'm gonna say here. Like, you do not need the DLCs for this game. But if you haven't played it yet and the DLC part's on sale and you can pick up the game for $30 and you get all the DLCs, I would actually recommend doing it, because then you can experience the full game at its fullest with the DLCs. I don't have any of them, so I don't really know anything about any of them really, but I'm sure they're fun and creative, because they were made by, you know, Massive Monster, and the whole game was just so good in the first place. I think the dungeon crawler part is like phenomenal. So good. It's so good to just run through these dungeons and fight and be able to dodge roll out of the way and avoid damage and stuff. Oh man, just a perfectly well composed game. And to see something like that, and then it only be for $25, is like that's like the second coming of Christ. Like, holy shit. All right, time to jump right into these ratings. So we're adding a new one today. You'll see when we get there. All right, we're gonna start with the single player. Single player here, 5 out of 5. Obviously, game's great. Though I don't like the cult running part, the dungeon part is so good that I have to give it a 5 out of 5, especially the mini game part too. I didn't really go over all the mini games because the only one I know is Knucklebones, and I talked about that earlier too. And I just want to throw this out there. I didn't really try the other ones. The fishing one, that one's okay, but I think that's really it. The fishing and Knucklebones. And Knucklebones is one of the best mini games ever created, and I think that should be well known. Besides Farkle and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but Farkle's been around longer than Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and so is Knucklebones, but no one really knew about Knucklebones till this, whereas Farkle, people were already playing that. There's literally a game called Farkle before Kingdom Come came out. Anyways, getting off topic here. Multiplayer, this is getting a 4 out of 5. The reason it's a 4 is because it's only local, and that irritates me because I want one of my friends to play this game so bad, but he won't because it's not online multiplayer, and he won't play it by himself. Why is it not online? Okay, and I get that would be a lot harder. I understand that, but damn it. Okay, it's losing a point for me because of that. But local co-op multiplayer is still a great addition to have. I think it should be both. I think it should be both online and local. But having local's fun. Played this game a little bit with my girlfriend. We started our own cult. It's definitely a little fun to play multiplayer. Like, you can both go in and do these dungeons at the same time. Awesome. That's a cool concept. But, like I said, should be online. Okay? Then we're going to do the pricing. So the pricing on this game, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. And if I could, I'd give it a 10 out of 5. Because the pricing is so good for this game. $25 was the perfect price point that they hit. Because it's to the point where it's like, oh, that's a cheaper game. Oh, that's a fantastically well-made, well-thought-out game for $25. They're proving a point here. You can still make games for that price, just like The Witcher did when it came out. Drop the game for $50, or no, yeah, $50, and it's still $50 to this day, and it's still one of the best looking games you can play on PC if you get it correctly. Like, holy, but like the pricing, just great. 10 out of 5, 10 out of 5. Then we're going to do the end game here. So I actually haven't beat the game, like I said, but I assume that I'm just going to go with a 4 out of 5 here because end game, what can you really do? Once you beat it, you just go into the dungeons again and stuff. I'll give it a 4 because I'm sure that would be fun to go in and redo the dungeons and try different challenges and stuff with these fleeces. I think that would be fun. But once you beat it, you're kind of done. So I'm going to give it a 4, but I don't have enough personal experience to talk about that. Then we're going to do replayability. Can I replay this game? Yeah, you could. It would be a whole different experience too. You could replay it all the time. So we're going to give that we'll give that a 4 out of 5 too. I think it would be a little boring if you already beat it and then went in to replay it. I think that might be just a little too boring, but we'll give it a 4 out of 5. Our new rating. Mini games. The mini games in this get a 5 out of 5 just because of Knucklebones. I'm giving it like a 100 out of 5 here. Oh man, I would pay if they dropped Knucklebones solo for even $10. I'd buy it. Even $10. I love Knucklebones so much, Devolver and Massive Monster. Can we please get a solo one? It can even be Cult of the Lamb themed. Just give it to me solo. That sounds wrong, but like, just please. Alright, that's the last alright you guys have to hear today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it's a lot shorter than the last one. I don't know as of right now, but I'm assuming so, because there's not near as much to talk about in this game as I had in the last game. I mean, there could be if I really went in depth, but I'm not doing that for this video. I think that you guys should splurge your money a little bit and buy this game, though. I do. The bird said no. You take whoever's opinion you want. But I think that you should. This game is so good. The price, $25. That's not even that bad nowadays. We're getting into the $80 range here soon. Like, I'm not... $25 to play one of the most well-built games I've played in a long time. Especially for dungeon crawlers. You have to know, like, it's considered a dungeon crawler, but it's also like a roguelite. I actually don't know the difference. I know that most roguelites are also dungeon crawlers, but there can be roguelites that aren't dungeon crawlers, and so we're just going to call it is both. in my opinion, but I think it's technically considered a roguelite, but it's a dungeon crawler. You know, you're doing dungeons. Come on now. And I think just go buy it. Just play it if you haven't yet. Most people that are watching this probably have played it though. Like, this game was so popular. I get so many comments on my tattoos and especially the shirt. For some reason, the shirt. People really like the Cult of the Lamb shirt that I have. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe, and then maybe come back for the next video, alright? Please? I could really use some more views.